Hi everybody, this is Eli Winterbaum. Welcome to today's webinar on end users and EndUser View. So a lot of you on this call, probably the majority of you, are administrators of your domain. You're most likely super admins, which means you have access to what I'm looking at here, which is the admin view of FlashPanel. So in addition to what you can do, which is manage all the directory, view all of your drive and documents, and set up sharing policies, as well as a lot of the tools. Actually, your end users have a lot of capabilities themselves into using FlashPanel for their own benefit, and that's what we're going to explore today. So here we are logged in as John Locke, a typical end user of your domain. Just like you can access FlashPanel from the More dropdown, so can your end users. At first glance here, you can see a couple of items, one being the company directory. We've heard a lot of feedback from admins like you saying that we want our end users to be able to look up information, view users on the domain, view which groups they're a part of, and also visit their shared contacts. So we've added that here. Second is Google Guru. This is an informational Google Apps website that we've created with different videos at different levels where people can either train themselves and view different videos based on their level here. So I encourage you to check this out. It's free and it's part of the training program for your end users. Also, users can self-edit their profile. If you allow this as an administrator, you can set which fields they can edit themselves, and you can see their own information here as well and allow them to keep it up to date. And then lastly, you have sharing alerts, which goes in with your Drive functionality, and you can actually set up sharing policies for each individual user, and users can determine if they are violating any policies. So first, we'll take a look at the directory. Users can view other users, click on them, browse, search by department, and then view all the information and group ownership here. You can also search for groups. You can click on a particular group or search again, and view all the owners and members here as well. Lastly, users can view any shared contacts you have on the domain. Here we have just one test shared contact with all of the information filled out, with all the information that you can add here. So in my profile, users can click on the little gear icon here to edit their own contact information. And as you can see, the AKA here is able to be edited, but these are grayed out, and that's defined by you as the administrator. So you do have the ability to prevent users from editing some parts of their contact info while they can edit other parts. And lastly, the sharing alerts. This is my personal favorite part of the end user view. Users can see which policies they're violating and actually view the documents that are violating them. So you can actually click on a particular doc itself to view it, and you can see it here. If this is something that's been shared publicly, you can either correct it and make it down and bring it down back to compliance, or you can request an exception, and that'll go back to the administrator. So even from within Gmail, users can view and look up directory information from the Apps Butler, which is something that you as an administrator can add for your users. If you type in /help, it'll let you know what you can and can't do. For instance, there are a couple of things the administrator can do, like send a broadcast to the entire company, and they can also suspend and reset passwords for users. As a normal end user, you can do lookups on users, groups, OUs, shared contacts, and even groupcast your entire group. So first we'll just look up a particular user named Larry. So we can see Larry Ellison, all of his contact information, and we can easily send him an email address. If we like, we can also search for a group, let's say the accounting group. It'll let you know all of the members as well as a member count here. If you'd like to send a groupcast, this is a way to send a message to, let's say, everyone in a group that you're a part of. You can say, meeting in 10 minutes. This respects the different settings that you have for each group. So if you're able to send a message, you also have the ability to send a groupcast. So everyone in this New York group just received a message from me, You actually can't reply to it. It's just a one-way message to everyone in the group. Back here as the administrator, there's a few settings that you can set here for different parts of the end user. So here in end user settings, you can decide to allow Groupcast to turn it on or off. And you can also allow users to either not self-edit their profile or allow them. And then here are the different fields that you can check on and off to allow or not allow. If you would not like to have your end users to have access to FlashPanel, you can very easily go to your control panel settings. You can go to your organization and users. You can create a new OU and maybe name it No FlashPanel, and then click on Services. So aside from the core Google services, there's also Marketplace services, and you can just turn this off right here. Once you save that, all of the users who are part of that organizational unit will no longer have access to FlashPanel. So there are some users on your domain who are end users, but you'd like to delegate some responsibility to them as admins. And this is very similar to granting people different roles and privileges within the control panel itself. So in FlashPanel, you can do something similar, and we call it access control. So you can create different access controls and give your users a different way to view their end user view. So by default, admins always have the admin view plus the end user view and any access controls they're a part of. End users will have their end user view, and if they're a part of an access control, they'll see that as well from the drop-down. So let's say you have someone in your domain whose responsibility is creating the email signature. We can check this on here, add any users you like, and save and apply. I've already added myself so that we can quickly see what it looks like. So now I'm logged in here in one of my access controls called Signature Designer, and I don't have access to anything within Home, and I only have access to Tools. And within Tools, I can only see signatures. So we've only created this access control so this one person can do this one task. This is a really good way to delegate responsibility for yourself and allow the people that should be doing the job, allow them to do it really, really well. So that's it for today's webinar. If you do have any questions at all, you can always visit support.bettercloud.com. Here you can browse our help articles. You can even see one focused here on the end user view, post in our community forums, or add a feature request to our page. If you have any questions, you can submit a request directly to our team here, Customer Advocate Team. And then also, this webinar and more can be found at flashpanel.com/webinars. We have both webinars, trainings, videos, and here's a calendar of upcoming events that we have. So, thanks for joining me for today's webinar, and hope to see you at the next one.